works. Okay, well, that's not looking as good as there we go. That's a little better. Maybe. I have to turn it like that. All right, so first of all, hang on, I need to post it over here. All right, so what I'm going to try to do is try to answer some questions and kind of tell you what we're going to do this week, or try to do this week. But I kind of have an old projector that I've been trying to use. I think I'm going to try and get an extra screen from school to try and give you a better opportunity of kind of being able to do some live things. I really don't want to use Zoom for students, and it's not anything against Zoom. It's just one more app that you have to have on your phone, one more thing you got to learn. And I'm not very good at I don't like changing horses in the middle of the stream. And to me, YouTube is way better for live things and kind of what we need. So my plan is to try and stream these, and then like I can also have like a live chat going. So if you have questions or things like that, then we can get those answered. I tried to kind of give some answers to the survey, and I can read through them, and I'll also post them. But I kind of wanted to put them up there. But then when I made it like 150 Zoom, it was cutting off part of it, and so not sure exactly why it's doing that, but I kind of want to give you some answers on where we're going from here. I don't have answers on everything because I haven't been given answers on everything. So I'm going to answer what I can as far as like I know what we're doing moving forward, and I can give you direction on that. But as far as like how we're going to grade civil rights and things like that, I'm still not exactly sure what we're doing with that. So, and I'm going to send this. I didn't have this all set up exactly right here. So bear with me. All right. So I'm going to send the YouTube link via Remind too. So that way everybody kind of has it. Okay. So first thing, one of the first questions I got was, are we only using Google Classroom, or are you going to branch out into other websites as well? So my plan at this point is to try and stick with Google Classroom and Planbook. I'm required to have something on Planbook, but moving forward, Planbook is not going to be the place you want to go. And the reason why is because we're going to start turning stuff back in. And so there's not really a way to do that. No, what did I do with this? There's not really a way to do that through Planbook. It's a, well, like in technology, they call it like a one-way street. It's a one-way street type of deal. So I can only send you stuff, but I can't see what you've been doing. As far as phones, Google Classroom should be just as easy on your phone as Planbook is. I would suggest that you download the app and download a Docs app, because Docs is going to be how you're going to turn stuff in as we move forward. So because I know for sure we're going to be out for the entire unit of Vietnam, everything is going to be turned in online. So that's just kind of how we're going to do it from here on out. Let me pull up this document on this other screen, so because I got it behind me here, but it's not really happy with the way this is. Turn the lights up and down, everything. It's still not really what because I don't feel like you can read that as well. My plan is to do Note 17.1 live as well at about 11, but yeah. Okay, so I don't want to overwhelm you with new websites and assignments. I'm going to post everything on Planbook and everything on Google Classroom, but Google's the only thing that allows us to turn stuff back in. I will still use YouTube because, like I said, to me, YouTube is the absolute best. I'm planning on posting Zoom office hours, but I'm not requiring Zoom at this point. The only place where I would require Zoom most likely would be like if you need to show me a notebook grade that you're missing, then you need to connect with me through Zoom and we can go through your notebook together on video. Next question. How are we going to understand various things that you add to the lesson? So my plan is to provide, both recorded lectures and live lectures. I know everyone can't get to the live lecture, but a live lecture allows you to ask questions or to ask for clarification on something. If I say, like sometimes in my notes they're very concise, and so if you're not really sure like what does that even mean, that would be where we would use the live lectures. I think once I do the live lecture on YouTube, I think it would just stay there, and then you wouldn't even need to use the recorded screencast-o-matic ones that I already posted on Planbook. I saw maybe 13 views on those, so if you already started on Note 17.1, that's okay. I'm just trying to find different ways of doing things. It's kind of a new thing for me, and I'll be honest, I haven't figured out Zoom yet, and I've worked with it for an hour already, so that's why I'm kind of not doing a Zoom thing. I just figure if I have the YouTube channel or YouTube Live and you guys can chat, I can see it right here on this other screen. So if you have a question or you're like, hey, hello, that's my question, but I have a follow-up question. How will this affect our final grades? Okay, so we're going to enter grades at some point. My grades will still be a notebook check and assessment for the civil rights era. We're going to have to change with Google Classroom and Google Forms on Vietnam. For our final unit, we're just going to have to see if we return to school in May. If we return to school in May, then we'll do our final unit just like we've done before with notebook checks and things like that. So yeah, and I have some more on a final further down. Can we just watch more videos? That's a good question. I told you at the beginning of History 3, there's actually more videos in this curriculum because it's more modern American history. There will be, I need to move this one down too. There will be more videos than you see like in History 2. There will also be notes, discussion questions, and a project in the Vietnam era of change. At least that's the plan right now. For this week, we're not going to start on any kind of project. We'll wait till we come back from spring break. Those 2 weeks in April, we'll be doing something there. Normally, Vietnam era of change is layered. So obviously we can't do layered, but we can do parts of layered. We can do more like maybe doing a B or A layer assignments. Maybe not the posters, but the kind that you can do online. I just have to kind of wait and see what happens in May before I know what we're doing with the final unit. There will be videos, but it won't be just videos. So that's the things you're looking for. Videos, notes, discussion questions, that kind of thing. Will there be a big test at the end if we don't return to school? Okay, so administration has not given anything on what's required for finals, and they're kind of scrambling too. We may not know anything until the end of May. If we don't return to school, I know administration will probably allow teachers to make their own decision on what would be assessed. If that is the case, I will most likely give you a final project if we don't return to school at all. If we do return to school, we may do like third quarter units, which what we've all done pretty much face-to-face, except for like the last week of it as a test, and then a fourth quarter units as a project. I'm not really sure. These are just some of the ideas that I'm coming up with. So basically, all the stuff that we've done online, or even if we come back and we're like 2 weeks in school, I would like to not have to test you in a multiple choice, big, massive test at the end. I would rather you do a project to show me that you know the information, and then what we did in class, which would be World War II, Cold War, and some of civil rights, would be something that you would be tested. That's just an idea at this point. Like I said, there's so many things I don't know. I hate to even answer that question. Okay, will our classes be doing Zoom meetings in the future as well? well, or I'm wondering if online lessons via voice chat will be possible. I'm supposed to have Zoom office hours, but I haven't really figured out Zoom yet. So, um, yeah. So, but I'm not going to require you to virtually attend class. There's lots of reasons why to require you to virtually attend class. One is that you have 7, 8 other classes that you have to worry about right now. It's not like an elementary student that can just meet with their teacher at a certain time and kind of get their work and stuff like that. I'm maybe you're not getting up in the mornings. I mean, there may not be a real reason to, or hasn't been. So maybe you're catching this stuff at 5 o'clock in the evening. I want to be able to provide additional help through using Zoom meetings and to individually grade assignments if we need to, like civil rights. But I'm not going to require a class unless I am absolutely told to. I'm not going to do that because I just don't feel like it's dumb to require high school students to have to meet at a certain time. How can I see? How can I notify you if something doesn't work, like my internet or links are not fully going through, like I can't see one of the videos? Like I said, I'm posting Zoom office hours once I figure out how to do that. But the easiest way to get a hold of me is just to email or text me on Remind. Whenever I send a Remind announcement, like I just sent that YouTube link, you can just text it back. It comes directly to my phone in the app, and I answer that the soonest. So even if it's not during my office hours, the whole thing with office hours is kind of, it's just one of those requirements that the district is giving us. But I try to be available as much as possible, all the time. If it comes to my phone, I'm going to be answering your questions. All right. So this is a pretty, scroll down a little bit here. This is a pretty big question. I got a lot of questions on this, and a couple I kind of tried to put them together. So should we be sending our work in our notebooks to prove that we have the work done? How will the assignments be turned in? How will things be graded? So for the civil rights era, the video notes and the homework packet, I have not determined how we're going to turn in those assignments. I'm still waiting for some direction from Mr. Talley when we're supposed to have grades turned in before I make that decision. If I do need to enter a grade on civil rights, I will either probably allow you to turn in pictures or connect with me during Zoom office hours and just show me your work. That would be the easiest because once you connect with me on Zoom, you can just be like, I've got this, I've got this, I've got that, and then I can check it off. Starting next week, which I already mentioned, our Vietnam assignments will be in Google Docs, and we'll be turning them in online rather than using notebooks, since the entire unit will be online and should finish around May 1st. I would encourage you to download Google Classroom, okay, and Docs, 2 apps. It makes it much easier when you're doing it online. Now, maybe you have a computer and you've been using it like that, and you're like, nah, I'm okay. But maybe you're kind of having to wait for a computer in your house. That you can do all this. My goal is to try and make it as easy as possible, like doing the notes and things like that. Do we just continue on with the packets? And I wasn't sure on this question what they were asking, whether do I need to finish the civil rights packet? But you're not going to receive any more hard copies. Even if someone does not have a computer, they will go get a computer. There will be no more printing. And that comes from Mr. Talley. That's not anything that I've said. We're unable to go to school and copy the hard copies, and starting next week, which is today, we're online, basically. Will we have tests? It's a very good question. If so, how are we going to do that? All right, so I do have to assess. That's part of the requirements. Oops, I didn't move that one down. We will have, think of it as an assessment, not as a test. We'll have an assessment of civil rights in Vietnam era during closure, but that does not mean that I have to assign an actual test. If you are assigned a test, it will be through Google Forms and you'll complete it that way. I may utilize some short quizzes during Vietnam, maybe some essay questions that you can complete at home with your notes and your resources. That's kind of how my plan is, to not come back and test over civil rights in Vietnam. We're going to do it all online. Right now, as far as the survey goes, most people have voted for an online Kahoot, hopefully live. I'm still figuring that out. This projector is not the absolute best, so I'm trying to figure out a different way to be able to do a webcam send out the code and where you guys could all play at the same time. Some discussion questions posted on Google Classroom. I just want some thoughts on how civil rights kind of impacted you. I mean, by this time, if you're done with the civil rights stuff, you've learned all about Central High School and the Little Rock Nine. You've learned about Martin Luther King and basically the impact of Birmingham. You've learned, the murder of some of the civil rights workers in Mississippi. Just the whole idea of trying to vote. There's a lot of things that we've learned, and so we need to kind of have like a discussion or like of that. So my plan is to do that through Google Classroom. Those of you that are missing the Cold War test, I will be individually emailing you a Google Forms link, and you will take that test at home. It's a makeup test, so it's just essay. There are no multiple choice in it, but I do have to have that assessment, and I've got to get it done. So, one of the final questions I got Friday night was, how long on average is each assignment? Now, I understand that. It's a very good question. So this is what we've been instructed to do. We're instructed to give you 45 minutes of work per day. Every assignment may not take you 45 minutes, but that would be the average length. Obviously, people work at different paces. Most of the time, if it's a video, it's probably going to be around 40 minutes. You're going to answer questions over it. Right now, as we look forward to next week, and let me move this and see if I can do this. Possibly. There it goes. There's Playing Book, I think. Or did it just, nope, it just went to, there we go, I think. Okay, so according to Plan Book, which I set up 2 weeks ago, what we were supposed to do should be full screen. Gotta think backwards because I have it all backwards up there. So what we were supposed to do, you can't even hardly read that, really. Anyway, okay, so an overview for this week. Nope, still kind of bad. Maybe if I turn it like that. I don't know if you can actually read that. Okay, I'll just talk about it. Maybe I'll turn this light off over here. Try. Okay, so for Monday, we're going to complete some notes over 17.1, and I told you I would try to do a live lecture today about 11. It's 10 o'clock now, so kind of the same idea of what we've been doing. You will still do 17.2 tomorrow, but right here where it says complete video notes over 17.3, we're not going to do that. Okay, I'll change that in just a few minutes, and we'll put the online Kahoot here with a discussion with two or three discussion questions. Civil rights on Wednesday is going to be your assessment. So for those of you that have not finished the civil rights thing, you need to finish that because Wednesday is going to be our test. We're going to use Kahoot like a test, basically. Thursday, we're going to watch Poison Dreams. Okay, so I have the link there, and I will also be posting these as Google Docs. That way you can just fill them in as you go. Also, keep in mind that in Google, I can see if you copy and paste. So if somebody sends you the Google Doc, shares it with you, and you just put it in the thing, that can also see that. I can see whether you actually typed it. It's called version history. Google is great with that. So just do the work. It's not really that hard. Watch a video over Vietnam in HD. This is episode 1, America Gets Involved. This is different than this video. Thursday's video is a YouTube link. Friday's video is an MP4. If that is causing a problem, I can upload. I do have that ability to upload. I think it was taken down because of copyright, so I didn't want to put it, if I put it on YouTube, I don't know for sure that it's going to actually show up. So I don't know. Well, so that's our plan. We're going to do notes 17.1 today, 17.2 tomorrow. We're going to skip 17.3. Whoops, see, there it goes. Every time I turn it like that, you can't read it. 17.3 is going to become our online Kahoot, with some discussion questions in Google Classroom, and then Thursday and Friday we'll be watching videos. If it works for people, I can upload it all at the same time, or I can upload it individually. Next week, you will not have anything at all in as far as like work to do, but because that's technically spring break. And then you'll see me back again on the 14th. That actually gives you the 13th though too. All right, so just an overview. I'm going to post the questions. I'm going to update plan book. And at 11, I'll do a live lecture. And then once that live lecture is done, it will also be posted for you to be able to get access to those notes later on today. How you're going to turn in those notes is in a Google Doc. You're not going to write them in your notebook. You're not going to write them on the right-hand side. If you've already been trying to work ahead and you're like, oh, well, Ms. Bryan, I already wrote them in my notebook. I'm trying to keep that. Okay, well then I'll talk about that. Basically where we can take a picture and turn it into that. You will have to turn the notes in though. Starting this week, that's the plan, is being able to turn those notes in. Okay, so if you have questions, you can, anytime I do a video like this and during the lecture, the live chat is open. Obviously, if I get weird messages, I can just delete them. I have the power to do that. So that's the point of doing these live. If it doesn't help you, then, I mean, I can do Screencast-O-Matic too. So the biggest thing I'm dealing with right now is the projector. So we will get that live lecture out to you in just a little bit. And then it will also be a recorded lecture too. Jalen, if you want to, I just saw that comment on there. If you do want to get started on the notes right now, the link is on Planbook. But I would encourage you to wait till the Google Docs comes up, because then it would be a little bit easier. But I'm sorry, I tried to get this done sooner. I've been fighting with Zoom and this dumb projector for a while. So, all right, let me know if you have questions.